which is just like a definition of gambling.
Yeah.
And I think it's really slimy. I don't like that. The good news is you can't use your IRA. You can't use your retirement funds. But I mean, it's kind of a slippery slope. Like, when does that sneak in if it's already on there?
All thoughts and opinions shared in this recording belong to the participants. This podcast is meant to inform and educate and should not be seen as solicitation or endorsement for business. The advisors discuss some of our firm's investment processes. These are just a few of the many possible approaches to investing. Individual results may vary depending on your goals, risk tolerance, market conditions, and other personal factors. Please consult a qualified financial professional before implementing any investment strategy.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Market Moment. I'm Lee Mackey alongside Isaac Johnson.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing great.
We are
Fantastic.
We're down one.
Yeah, it seems like when they hear me and you are together, no one wants to be in here.
We are a dynamic duo, or they're just like, you know what, we don't want to be a part of that train wreck.
Let's not get in the way of the magic that's about to happen.
Absolutely,
here.
yeah. Matt was out today. Eli had another commitment, so it's just me and you.
Yeah,
even though you were willing to go solo.
I wanted to rock it by myself.
Yeah,
I had some stuff to get off my chest.
And it was when you said that I thought, you know what, I probably should come along. Good weekend?
Yeah, it was good. I spent a lot of it. We were just moved.
Yeah.
So I had to go to our old house and patch holes and paint and do all the
fun stuff.
But got it all done. So
you couldn't have picked a prettier weekend to be inside.
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome.
We have been enjoying a nice stretch of spring-like weather. I mean, it's nice. We got some rain coming in, which we need badly.
Big time.
But I love this time of year.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll get to some business here in a minute, but what's your favorite holiday? I mean, if you had to pick one.
If I had to pick one, gosh, I'm just a Christmas guy. I know that's such like a boring answer, but it's just the nostalgia of it. Mm-hmm. And I have a 2-year-old now, so I'm really looking forward to putting him to bed and then Santa coming and putting up all the presents.
Yeah, and he's probably still 1 year, maybe 2, from really feeling the magic of it.
I'm just gonna wrap some empty boxes.
And honestly, we found out multiple times that's all they want.
Yeah,
you spend all this time and money, and then all they want to do is play in the cardboard or the wrapping paper.
Can't wait.
Yeah, but it is pretty special.
What's your favorite holiday?
I think Thanksgiving.
Really? Yeah.
And I think as I've gotten older, yes, Christmas when the kids are young are great. I have gotten a little bit into the Christmas spirit this year a little bit early. I don't know why. We're going to do things a little different with our kids this year, and so I'm really looking forward to that. But I like Thanksgiving because it seems like it's more about family.
Yeah.
It's not. It hasn't been overly commercialized yet. Typically the day is spent, eating. Yeah. Time with family, watching football.
Football's on. Yeah.
It's a relaxing time to just be with friends and family. Even though this year we're not, we've kicked all the kids elsewhere, and Susan and I are headed to Chicago to watch the Razorbacks basketball team play Duke.
So it's kind of find some good Thanksgiving food.
I think we will
in Chicago. I'm sure.
Yeah, we've got a Thanksgiving meal reserved for a few hours before the Razorbacks.
That'd be
off.
awesome.
But yeah, it's a fun time of year. But even though the holidays are upon us, doesn't mean that things slow down in the markets.
No,
and there's still news. I mean, we're coming off a government shutdown, which was the longest in history, and of course it was going to be that way because Donald Trump is the president, and he always wants to have bragging rights on everything. Is it any coincidence? Probably not.
Yeah.
But that is over. Mm-hmm. Airlines seem to be back to normal, or at least moving that way. Government's, back to doing its crazy things, voting on important things today, like the Epstein files.
Sure.
Which we are not going to get into in today's podcast. But there's plenty to talk about still.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about a few things that people are kind of seeing maybe in the markets right now. We've had, today opened up pretty red. The S&P, this would be the 4th or 5th day in a row, and some pretty big moves of negative movement. What do you attribute some of that to? In your opinion,
it's just been such a red hot year.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of it's so hard. We came through earnings season a few weeks ago, but like it's so hard to satisfy investors with all these earnings. Like even these tech companies that are beating earnings, they're not beating it by enough.
Yeah.
Right. And so just a cooling down ending of the season.
And on those lines, so many people don't even look at earnings anymore. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, okay, you've reported earnings, but what is your forecast for the next 2 quarters? It's like the Fed. Chairman Powell raises, keeps the same, cuts rates, but they don't even focus on that anymore. They focus on that 45 minutes that he answers questions afterwards.
What are you going to do 6 months from now?
Yeah. And so, I think that there's a combination of things. One, to your point, the markets we've had a good year.
Yeah.
It's been the tale of 2 years. We had a decent start to the year, and then, April, May, we had a pretty good sell-off, pretty sharp sell-off when Trump announced those mass tariffs. And then from the end of April through, for the next 6 months, the S&P was up 30% plus from the bottom.
Right.
And that's very unusual.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're giving some of it back. There's some cooling in AI. Mm-hmm. There is, and we had a guest on last week from AI, and she's still bullish on it. There's still a lot of positivity around it. I mean, we're still kind of in the early stages of that adoption, but I think that it's been nothing but positive.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a bubble, mm-hmm. but if people want to reallocate, if you want to move cash around, then you look at some of your positions that are up, 100%.
Yeah.
If you will. So I think we have a little bit of that. And to your point, also, the markets have almost been priced to perfection, and any hint of non-perfection, if you will, you'll have some sell-offs. And I'm not too worried about it. Right. I did see something interesting yesterday, maybe over the weekend. Morgan Stanley, one of my former employers, great investment firm. I respect their research side. They are typically a little more pessimistic. Yeah. They tend to not be as optimistic as others on the street. Yesterday, one of their analysts came out and said that I think their 1 year prediction for the S&P was 7,800.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
what are we at today?
What are we at today?
66.42.
Yeah, because we sat here about a month or so ago and gave end of the year predictions, and I said we'd be at 7.
Yeah.
It was looking promising a week or so ago.
Well, in this market, you never know.
But 7 to 800, I mean, that would be a pretty significant move over the next 12 months.
Is it 12 months? Okay.
They forecasted a little bit of softness short term,
mm-hmm.
but a lot of the big beautiful bill,
mm-hmm.
a lot of the impact hasn't even been felt yet. It'll be starting to see in 26.
Yeah.
You'll get, I think the first 6 months of 26, you'll see some, good things from the standpoint of tax refunds
mm-hmm.
will be hitting people's banks accounts. So anyway,
we
don't get too hung up on markets here on the podcast.
Sure.
But thought I'd throw that out.
I was going to say the kind of on the topic of stocks, this is why a lot of people tune in. Our topic for today was, does it make sense to own stocks in retirement?
Yeah.
Right. And so while we're on the subject, I figure it's a good transition into,
does it?
Should I own stocks in retirement? Right.
I'm closer than you are to retirement by
a small
few years. I think we begin every answer every
mm-hmm.
week with the one word depends.
It depends. Yeah.
But I would say as a general, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, to what extent?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but people are living younger. Okay, so if you take, I don't know what the average retirement age is, but let's say it's 65.
Sure.
Your life expectancy is another 20
mm-hmm.
years, and so you theoretically want some growth.
Yeah.
You want to outpace inflation, even in retirement. And so historically, about the only thing that outpaces inflation on a year after year basis is stocks, equities.
That's what I was going to say is the kind of the recency fear of inflation should be on a lot of people's minds. I think, if you had retired, 10 years ago, and you were able to say, hey, I'm going to put everything in cash and be fine, and you model it out. But then you experience a couple years of 8-9% inflation, that not getting a ideal return
and I'm going to go back
you.
I'm going to go back even further. I'm going to go back 20 to 25 years. Maybe even, I'm in year 30. In that era, you could go out and get CDs for 6, 7, 8%. You could get bonds in the 8 to 10%. So you could theoretically, 20, 30 years ago, you could have a pretty comfortable retirement just having money in bonds and throwing off, 8 to 10% in income. Well, those days are gone.
Yeah.
And so, I still think even in retirement, and as a general rule, in my opinion,
there we go. All the things
that no matter if you're in the early stages of retirement, if you're in the middle, or if you're in your 70s or 80s, I still think there is a place for equities in your retirement portfolio. A diversified portfolio just makes sense.
Well, it just comes down to what type of risk you're comfortable taking, right? If you're comfortable taking the volatility risks of stocks, then they have a place in your portfolio. If you're comfortable taking the inflation risk of, hey, I'm gonna be a lot more conservative with my dollars and just kind of hope that inflation doesn't eat away at my lifestyle, well, that's another inherent risk.
And if you're in retirement and you do not depend on your investment portfolio for retirement income, if you've got a pension and you've got Social Security, you've got annuity income, if truly your investment portfolio is something simply that is there for you to leave to the next generation, then why not?
Yeah.
If there is no risk to your lifestyle, why not be a little bit more aggressive or assume a little bit more risk than otherwise?
Yeah.
Now, if you're dependent upon that money being there for your retirement life or for your retirement years, then you do need to be a little bit more cautious.
Sure. Be a little tactical with where the dollars are.
But to answer the question that was sent in, I think as a general rule, yes, absolutely. There is a place for stocks, equities in a retirement portfolio.
Sure.
Next topic.
I've got a fire fest this week.
Are you?
I'm upset.
You told me about these predictive markets.
Yeah.
Isaac is our resident.
I watch sports.
Yeah.
I watch the lines on sports.
Yes. Lines as in LINES,
yes.
not the Detroit.
Not the Lions. Yeah.
But the betting lines.
Yes.
Seeing
who's favored by how many points,
yes,
over unders.
Yes. So talk to us a little bit about what you're finding.
Gambling has become such a hot topic in sports, right? Like ESPN has their own betting platform.
And I think last week NFL or NCAA just reached an agreement, or maybe it was ESPN, reached an agreement with DraftKings
probably
as their official.
You can't watch a game online without it being in your face. Like everybody's giving you their picks for this or that, and the only thing that's kind of kept the individual safe from hurting themselves is gambling goes back to state law.
Yeah.
So depending on what state you're in is the age at which you can gamble, what platforms you can actually use. Like if I tried to log into DraftKings in the state of Arkansas, it wouldn't work because we can only gamble through Arkansas-owned companies.
Right, Saracen and Oakland.
And so,
but in the state of Texas, there is no online gambling. Don't ask me how I know that.
Okay.
I just do. But yeah, online gambling. I know that Texas residents will come across state lines into Arkansas
to place their wagers.
So
the internet has gotten smart, and their way around this is something called prediction markets.
Yeah.
And it has now made its way into Robinhood and I have a client who came in to show me his Robinhood account.
And Robinhood is
it's like a Charles Schwab. It's an investing platform,
yeah.
but it's designed for probably a younger generation.
Sure.
It's all mobile. It's all digital. And so he was showing me his investments, what he's in. We were talking through them, and on his front page when he logs in is open a prediction markets account, and prediction markets is just gambling, and they're putting a fancy name on it to not have to abide by the gambling laws in the state. If you go to Robinhood, not an ad for Robinhood, I have my own opinions on them, but you can say trade event contracts on real world outcomes from championships to elections. Get paid $1 if your prediction is correct or $0 if not. And you buy a certain number of contracts, which is just like a definition of gambling.
Yeah.
And I think it's really slimy. I don't like that. The good news is you can't use your IRA. You can't use your retirement funds. But I mean, it's kind of a slippery slope. Like, when does that sneak in if it's already on there?
So to put it in layman's terms,
yeah,
you can have an investment account
mm-hmm.
that you've been putting money in monthly that you would buy Microsoft with, or
mm-hmm.
you would invest in Apple or Amazon, or
yeah.
you buy an ETF or a mutual fund. And now you can take the same money
mm-hmm.
and it's not called gambling.
You put a prediction on the Cowboys to win a football game, and if they don't win, your money goes to $0. It's not like a stock that
whatever amount you betted.
Mm-hmm.
Betted.
It's either
I said the word
betted. That's kind of the worst case scenario is an uninformed or a younger investor seeing this as a way. It's similar to, I was 22 once and somebody told me about options, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, options can be a very dangerous game when you're new at investing. This is another function of it's a derivative market.
If you look at the small print down
mm-hmm.
here, the disclaimer is all about futures.
Yeah,
contracts. They're
calling it futures. They're futures contracts. It's not gambling, which I find interesting. You talked about the government shutdown earlier in the episode. Mm-hmm. One of the I don't know if cool is the right word, but I saw somebody using the predictions market. I follow a guy on LinkedIn who runs a company called Arrived, and they're trying to create a stock market for real estate. So you buy marginal interest in real
mm-hmm.
estate. And the government shutdown, they weren't allowed to have any new offerings because they have to clear through the SEC. And so to make up for the loss of revenue, they put money on over under 35 days of the government shutdown. And so if it went over, it would pay out and they would recover their revenue. And if it went under, they could list their new investments, which I thought was an interesting hedge for a business owner. So that's where the prediction market gets a little weird.
So you obviously have your opinion.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
It scares me.
It's the slippery slope that
mm-hmm.
we talked about that comes with gambling.
Absolutely.
Which the naysayers, and I'm not
sure,
but if I'm taking the other side of that, I would say, well, you gamble every time you buy 50 shares of Walmart, or if
sure.
I mean, you're hoping
mm-hmm.
that the markets go up.
Yeah.
And if the markets go down, you lose. If you short
mm-hmm.
a stock, you're betting that the particular stock will go down.
Mm-hmm. I would agree that the shorting aspect of it, when you're dealing in options and futures, very similar. When you're buying ownership in a company, it's a different. And I think people lose that when you get in the stock market. You're buying stocks and you're just thinking they're just dollars on a page. But you're buying ownership of a company,
sure,
right? You're not buying ownership of a team in the prediction markets, right? It's either win or loss. This one, not every stock has the ability to go to $0, but a lot of times you just kind of ride.
But the
wave.
hope is that it will go up.
Sure, yeah.
Now,
mm-hmm.
Long term buy and hold, less so. You start day trading, then there's not a lot of difference.
Yeah, right.
In my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. I agree. If you're shorting stocks, trading options, I think there's a huge difference. Yeah. If you're investing for the long term,
I'm not promoting these prediction markets.
Yeah, I would avoid these at all costs.
I think it is a very slippery slope.
And everybody has their own opinion on sports gambling. I just think when you start mixing it in with your investments, it can get a little foggy
what
good investing is and what gambling is.
I wonder if they have the gambling disclaimer at the bottom. You know, if you are
you call the 800 number.
Yeah, if you are addicted.
I don't see it. Yeah,
I don't see it either. Anyway, that's interesting.
So that fired me up last week.
Yeah, it's what will they think of? Because crypto wasn't enough, meme stocks weren't enough. Interesting. Speaking of crypto, what do you make of the nearly 40% pullback? I mean, this morning, crypto dropped below 90,000 for the first time since August.
So it's given everything back that it got on the Trump bump.
Yes. It hit 126,000.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe briefly. But now this morning we briefly traded below 90,000.
I'm seeing 91 right now.
We're settling at 91. So that is
that's significant.
25%.
Yeah, and it's a good reminder of
it doesn't go up every day.
It doesn't go up every day.
Yeah.
And I think people needed a reminder of that.
I think that there's I gotta be careful. I think there is a correlation between the equity markets, in particular AI, with crypto.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to map completely, but I think
it's the Mag 8.
I think they need each other, and when one goes up, they probably all go up, and when one goes down or the group go down, then you could see crypto. Again, I don't know if it's a direct correlation, but I think there is a correlation between the overall equity markets and crypto.
Yeah, it's an interesting asset class. It's hard to know what's going to affect it and what's not going to. It's probably
and
more.
We were talking about Bitcoin.
We were Bitcoin. Sorry. It's more tied to human emotion than the traditional stock market is. We've talked about this before, where we think markets are driven a lot more by non-individuals, but the bigger corporations. Where I feel like Bitcoin's kind of getting there, but a lot of the movements are emotional individuals at home. I've always wondered about, if times do get tough and people need to start taking withdrawals from things, is the first place the consumer takes from their equities portfolio, or would they cash out their crypto first if you were in a bind?
If you're in both?
If you're in both, I wonder what the consumer's mindset is to cash out first.
I think that you see that, I've always joked and said that NVIDIA, and I'm just picking them as an example, is almost like an ATM, to where people have so much gain built up that if they want to go buy something else, they're going to sell NVIDIA. I mean, we've got clients that are up thousands of percent in NVIDIA. Well, if you need $10,000 or $50,000, I'll just take it down to NVIDIA.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in an IRA and you don't have to worry about capital gains. And so I think the same with crypto. Now, do I know one or the other? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's a real thing. And I think that as the economy in part slow down, as the job market tightens, I mean, there's some slowness out there. I mean, there's probably a bit of that selling because people have needed to raise cash.
You need some cash, and you take the thing that's appreciated. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Interesting topics today. Any final remarks?
No. Tulsa won their third football game of the year.
Hey, I saw where the Razorbacks have Tulsa on their
next year.
On their calendar next year.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see if I can get on the sideline for that one.
Well, it's 2 more weeks of college football for Razorback fans. If you are other team fans, you may have multiple
a little
weeks,
bit more.
but we have 2 more games. Basketball season is gearing up pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Razorbacks look to be pretty good this year. I'm not an NBA follower, but it's a good time of year. A lot going on here at the office. Thanksgiving is next week. We'll do a podcast next week in between meals, I'm sure. But it's a fun time of year.
Yeah, take some time, enjoy your family.
Absolutely.
Don't think about the markets too much. Let us worry about that. And eat some good food, watch some football.
Absolutely. Well, On behalf of Isaac and myself, we hope you have a great week. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, a family member about our podcast. We love to help out any way we can. Have a great week.
Thank you.
The hosts of the Market Moment podcast are employees of Mach 1 Financial Group, LLC. Mach 1 is a registered investment advisor located in Rogers, Arkansas. A copy of Mach 1's current written disclosure brochure is available through the SEC website and available at disclosures.mach1fg.com.